What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you guys how to design using Procreate. I'm going to show you guys how to take a bland looking mockup or how to make a mockup from the start if you don't know how to, and actually make it look good and make it look semi-realistic. I'm going to show you guys using only the default brushes on Procreate that come with Procreate when you buy it. No paid design packs, no paid design brushes, just strictly default brushes. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it and how you can too. And by the end of this video, you guys should be able to design anything, make it semi-realistic. So let's get started.
All right, guys, so this should be the very first thing you see once you open Procreate. This is the main menu. Now, if you don't know how to use Procreate, I recommend to join my Discord, link in bio. And I have a quick tutorial video going over all the Procreate basics and basically how to use the app and everything you need to know. So I really recommend to join my Discord to watch that video if you need to. Now, first thing we're going to do is actually make our canvas. We're going to go to the top right, the white plus button right here. And we're actually going to make a custom canvas. And to do this, we're going to press the two black blocks right here on the top right. And we're actually going to make the width and the height 4,000 by 4,000. So our canvas will be a square. Now, the thing with canvases, the bigger it is, the less layers you can actually have. So 12 layers is pretty decent for what we're going to be doing. So I don't need to make the canvas any smaller. We want to make sure our DPI is 300, because if your DPI is any lower, your mockup or anything you do on the canvas will be blurry and pixelated. So after we do this, we're going to press create on the top right, and we're going to go into our canvas. All right, guys, so now that we're actually on our canvas, the first step to actually making our mockup is we need an outline. Now, I said we were going to use only default brushes that came with Procreate. We're not going to use any paid brushes or design packs or anything, but I do want to plug my design pack because I think it will help you guys out a lot, especially saving a lot of time and making the designs look good and making the process just a lot easier. So I want to show you guys real quick my design pack. It's called Melts Design Pack. Now, what actually comes with the design pack is you get 30 plus mockups, from hoodies, jackets, to pants, to everything you basically need. And from there, you also get textures, all the essential textures that you would need. And you also get line stitching for, adding stitching to your actual mockups as well. And you also get pockets, so you can add pockets to any of the mockups that you want. Now, what makes my design pack way different compared to other design packs, it makes it a lot easier to actually design and saves a lot more time, is I'm gonna show you guys actually real quick. So I'm gonna start off as an example with a hoodie. So I'm going to use the hoodie that comes with my design pack. So this is the default hoodie 1. So here we have our hoodie. I'm actually going to duplicate it, and I'm actually going to color our hoodie. Now I'm going to color our hoodie real quick. Take how fast I'm doing this as well, how fast this whole design is going to come through. Now from there, we're actually going to add a texture from our actual texture pack that comes with the design pack, that comes in the design pack, sorry. And we're going to add a texture. Now, we don't want the texture obviously going over the actual hoodie, so we're going to add a clipping mask. So now we have our hoodie. We're going to actually shrink down the texture as well to make it look a little bit less bigger. So now we have a textured mockup. Now, what makes my design pack a little bit different from any other design pack out there, makes it way easier when it comes to designing, we actually have a shadow pack. So a shadow brush basically allows you to put shadows on all your mockups. So there is a shadow in here for every single mockup in the mock pack. And you also get shadows for the actual pockets as well. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick how this works. I need to make a new layer. So new layer, shadow, boom, place it down, center it with my hoodie. We don't want this bleeding through. So what we're gonna do, actually clipping mask, boom. Now we have a fully texturized mockup with shadows. Usually without having this design pack, this would take us an hour, maybe 30 minutes if you're really good at designing. But we did that all in basically under 5 minutes. Now, if you guys are interested, it will be linked in the description, or you can join my Discord and direct you guys if you have any questions. So basically that's my whole design pack, and I just want to show you guys real quick because I think this would help a lot of you guys to design faster and way easier, and you guys wouldn't have to go through the whole hassle of actually making everything from scratch. If you guys are interested, link in the bio. All right, now we're gonna start off with a blank canvas here. Now I said the first step to actually making a whole mock-up from scratch is actually having an outline. So for our outline, we're gonna go to the painting tool at the top, and we're gonna use the round brush in the painting section. I like this brush for basically any outlines for any mock-ups or anything like that. So we're gonna do that. Let's see, we're gonna use a 3%. Actually, we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. I think that's a good size. Actually, nah, you know what? We're gonna make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see better. Yeah, so we're gonna use 5% for this. On the left hand side, you can actually change the brush size you guys need, but we're gonna use 5%. So I think that's a pretty decent size. So basically, all you guys need is a picture of whatever garment or piece of clothing that you guys want to actually use as an outline. So for this, we're actually gonna go to the top left, go to the wrench. You're gonna go to add, and you're gonna insert photo. We're actually gonna take this hoodie that I found off of Google, and we're actually gonna put it here onto our canvas. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So yeah, we're gonna center it on our canvas. Very important to center it. I'll show you guys why in a second. So we center our hoodie. Now, what we're gonna do, top right, make a new layer, and we're actually gonna go to the wrench again, go to our canvas, and we're gonna turn on the drawing guide, and we're gonna go to edit drawing guide, turn on symmetry, and press done. So what this will allow us to do is actually mirror whatever we draw on the canvas, which will make this a lot faster and easier. So I'm actually gonna speed through this, me actually tracing out the hoodie, so you guys don't have to watch the whole thing. But yeah, you guys just want to trace out whatever garment that you guys found, and that's it. That's the first step. So I'm gonna actually speed up through this so you guys can watch, or you guys can skip. All right, guys, now that we have our outline, the next step is gonna be actually duplicating our outline right here. And now we're gonna add a texture. So for the texture, what you can do is you can go on Google, search up fabric textures. Try not to find a texture that's fully black. Go for a different color and make sure it's a high quality picture. There's a lot of free ones you can use. Make sure you find a texture, save it. From there, I actually have a texture. We're gonna go to the wrench. We're gonna go to add, insert photo. This is the texture I found. You could probably find the same one. And this is the texture I'll be using. So now once you have your texture, size it up just a little bit, not too much. You don't want the texture to be like super big compared to the actual hoodie. So I'm gonna find like actual good sizing for it. I think around here is a good size. And from there, we're actually gonna duplicate our texture, and we're going to just stack them on top of each other so that it covers the whole hoodie. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna speed through it real quick. All right, guys. So I just finished duplicating all the textures and actually merging them down. I forgot to mention how to do this. All you do is go to your layer, press on the layer you want to merge down, and you press merge down, and it combines the two layers. So I think this is a pretty decent size for my texture. I'm gonna shrink it a little bit so it's got a little bit of finer detail. Next thing I'm gonna do is I want it to, pop more. So I'm actually going to sharpen it a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to go crazy on it, but I think 41% is good. And to, sharpen it, forgot to mention, you would go to this magic wand and then you go to sharpen, and from there you can slide and drag to whatever percentage you want to sharpen it to. And then from there, we're going to press on our fabric layer. And as you can see, the fabric is, covering the whole hoodie, but it's also bleeding onto the canvas. So what we're going to do is we're going to press on it. I'm going to press clipping mask. Now it's not showing up because I did forget to add color to the actual hoodie. So we're going to do that now. So for this hoodie, I'm thinking a camo hoodie. So I'm going to go for a, light, darkish, grayish green. And that's what I'm going to color this hoodie. Hold on. So I could see that the actual hoodie, I'm going to, turn off the fabric for now. But I'm going to go for this green. You want to color the whole canvas. So I'm going to color the whole canvas. By doing this, if you can't do it and it's only coloring part of the hoodie, you're going to want to press continue filling at the top, and you're going to drag your finger to the right until the threshold is 100%. And that will allow you to color your whole canvas. That's how you do that. Now the next part, after you color your whole canvas and the hoodie, on the first outline layer, as you can see, we leave this layer right here completely empty. Do not color that one, just the first one. We're going to go to the third button at the top left. I don't know what that really is. I think it's like a lasso. Then we're going to press automatic at the bottom. Make sure it says automatic. And we're actually going to touch on the outside of our canvas. Don't touch on the inside of the hoodie or any part inside the hoodie, just the outside of our canvas. As you can see, it actually grabs the whole thing, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is put our finger down on the screen, and we're going to drag left, and this will actually make the threshold less. So we're going to try out 25%. So we're actually going to go to the bottom right, and we're going to press the clear button to get rid of that. And we're going to try again. So press the canvas, the outside of the canvas, and there we go. That's a lot better. Yeah, that's a lot better. So now it's grabbed only the canvas. Now we want the hoodie and only the hoodie to be this color. So what we're going to do is we're going to press invert. Here it's the third button at the bottom. And then once we press invert, we're going to be pressing copy and paste, which is right next to it, also at the bottom. And boom. So now we should have an extra layer of just the hoodie. Now we can actually get rid of this layer right here because we won't be needing that anymore. And this hoodie is not showing up because it's on clipping mask. We're going to turn off clipping mask here. So now the hoodie will show up, and we actually want the fabric to actually be clipping mask. So we're going to turn the clipping mask for the fabric layer on. So now the fabric is only showing on the hoodie, as you can see, but now we don't have any of that green coloring, and we want that green coloring. You know what? I forgot to mention something. For the actual fabric texture come out more, we're actually going to want to go to the second, the magic wand on the top left, and we're going to go to hue, saturation, and brightness. I'm going to turn down the brightness just a little bit, not too much, so just so it can pick it up better. And we're just going to press the paint tool to get out of that. But yeah, you just want to turn down the brightness a little bit so it's a little bit darker, so it comes up better if your fabric color is on the lighter side. Now, if your fabric color is a different color, what you're going to want to do is actually go back to magic wand, hue, saturation, and brightness. You want your fabric color to actually be gray. So If it's a different color like green, red, whatever, the fabric that you found, you want to turn down the saturation all the way down, and that'll actually turn your fabric color to gray. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our fabric layer, and you see this little N on the very far right of the layer. You're gonna press that, and you should have a pop-up with a bunch of different blending modes. Is we're gonna test out all the blending modes to see which one we like the most and which one actually brings out the color. And boom, there we go, we found one. Overlay, I like overlay, looks good, but we can also go ahead and, you know, test out other ones just in case if there is a better one. But for the sake of this video and the time, I'm just gonna use overlay. So now we have the fabric, the colored hoodie, and we have the top layer. Now the next step is actually texturizing our hoodie a little bit more. You know, it just looks too bland. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a new layer here. We're gonna turn our brush to white. So I'm just gonna drag this, turn our brush completely white, and we're gonna go to our brushes and we're gonna scroll all the way down to organic. Now this is my favorite brush to actually give, you know, fabric a little bit more texture, to actually bring it out a little bit more. We're gonna go to cotton right here on organic, and from there we're actually just gonna make this a little bit bigger. I think 40 is pretty good, and we're just gonna just randomly bring that all over the hoodie, make it look like some sort of wash. Now from there, obviously we don't want our hoodie looking like it just got covered in cocaine or whatever. We're actually going to turn down the opacity. So to turn down the opacity, you're going to click on the layer with 2 of your fingers, and this will allow you to turn down the opacity. So you're going to slide it to the left. We're going to bring it down a little bit. I think about 18% is pretty good, maybe 20. Let's keep it at 25. I like 25. So we're gonna keep it at 25. Boom, done. And now we have a little bit more of a texture, like it could be a wash of some sort. Now that we have the fabric and texture and everything, the next step is actually adding shadows. All right, guys. So to add shadows, what we need to do is go to our top right, our color. We're gonna make our brush black, and we're gonna go back to painting, and we're gonna go to round brush. And we're actually gonna go to the left and change the size of our brush and make it a little bit bigger. I also forgot to mention, we also need a new layer for our shadow. This will be a top layer. After that, we're gonna test out. It's pretty decent size. We want to be a little bit smaller. All right, that's perfect. To actually make a shadow for a mockup, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could use the airbrushes, but sometimes it could be a little bit difficult because it bleeds through to some parts that you don't want shadows on. I think, in my opinion, the easiest way to make shadows is by using the round brush, and I'm gonna show you guys how. If we look at our original mockup right here, I'm gonna shrink it down, put it here at the top left so we can look at it. We could see that there is some shadows right here on this side. There's some shadows here and some shadows on the stitching lines as well. And they also have outer shadow around the actual hoodie as well. So we're gonna actually try to replicate this real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys how. So we're gonna go to our new layer right here. And this is why I think the symmetry tool is very important. And I hope you guys used it when actually making your mockup, because it'll make making the shadows a lot easier and faster. So I'm gonna turn on the drawing guide, and now we have symmetry for our new layer. So we're gonna start off with the arm shadow, because that's probably the most important shadow and the one that most people will see when they look at the hoodie. So we're gonna start with that. So we're just gonna trace on the outside of the actual arm where the shadow would be. And it should look something like this. If you guys are making hoodies, I'm gonna make it actually go over the line a little bit. Now it doesn't look like a shadow at all. It just looks like I just put a fat line on my mock-up. So I'm gonna show you guys how to actually turn this into a shadow. So we're gonna go to the magic wand on the top left right here, and we're gonna go down to Gaussian blur right here. It's Gaussian blur, and we're gonna tap down hard and slide our finger to the right. And as you can see, now it's blurring the lines that we made. And we're gonna put this at a solid 10%. I think that looks good. So now we have something that looks like an actual shadow. And as you can see, if you look down here, it's actually seeping onto our canvas. So we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to do a clipping mask here. And we're also going to do a clipping mask for the textures that we actually made earlier. Now it's not bleeding onto the actual canvas. If you think the shadows are too dark, easy fix, press 2 fingers on the shadow layer, and we're going to slide the opacity down, and that will allow the shadows to be less powerful, or if you want to keep it how it was. We're going to turn it down just a little bit, maybe 82 is good. So now we have a hoodie that actually looks a little bit more 3D. So now we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep adding shadows. So what we're going to do is go to our shadow layer, and we're going to slide hard on the right, and we're actually going to duplicate this layer. After we duplicate this layer, I'm going to press on it, and we're going to clear it. So what that allows us to do is keep the symmetry tool and clear out the layers so there's nothing on the layer. So now we're gonna add the next shadow. So if we look here, there's a lot of shadowing on the bottom, the actual hoodie down here, as you can see, under the pocket. So we're gonna add that. For this shadow, we're gonna make it a little bit smaller. We don't want it as thick as the sleeve shadow. Don't want it as prominent. Yeah, I think 8% is perfect. So we're just gonna trace along the bottom. Keep tracing along the bottom here. We're actually gonna replicate what we did for the sleeve shadow. So we're gonna go to the magic wand, Gaussian blur, make this around 5%. I think looks good. We don't want it seeping over the line. We just want to keep it behind the line. And from there, I'm gonna turn down the opacity on this layer so that the little shadow isn't as powerful. So now it's giving our hoodie a little bit more dimension. Now what we're gonna do is duplicate the layer, clear it. Now we can actually just merge this layer to the other shadow so that we can, still use a lot of layers that we need. So I'm actually gonna do that. So I'm gonna click on the layer, and we're gonna press merge down, and it'll combine the 2 shadows. Now we're gonna go back to the new layer, and we're just gonna keep drawing shadows. Now for the outer part of the hoodie, I'm going to turn up the size a little bit. Trace the outer part of the hoodie till the shoulder. And then from there, I'm going to do the same thing. Gaussian blur. There we go. We're going to turn down the opacity, make it a little bit less stronger. As you can see, our hoodie is coming to life. It's looking way more realistic and looking way better. I'm gonna turn down the size of this. Now we're gonna actually start working on the hood here. So for the hood, I'm gonna do the outer part of the actual lining of the hood. This is basically the opening of the hoodie, so there'd be a big shadow right there. So I'm gonna show you guys how I would do that. I'm actually going to trace all around, because since this is overlapping here, there would be a shadow right there. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and blur this too, so it just automatically has it. And then from there we're gonna merge it down, and we're gonna clear it. Do that. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to make the inside shadow. So we're gonna do this. I'd make like a rounded off triangle, I want to say. Don't want too much sticking out, just round it off. Yeah, that's good, perfect. Then we do the same thing, Gaussian blur, make it match a little bit. Now we're actually going to turn down the opacity so it matches the outer shadows a little bit better, and some of the shadows actually seep through out of the line, so I'm actually going to go ahead and erase around it so it's only on the inside. You only want it on the inside, and boom. I'm actually going to turn it down just a little bit more, so just so it's not powerful, so powerful. We're going to merge it down, duplicate it, clear it. Now we're going to do want to do the back side of the hoodie. All right, so now our hoodie is fully shadowed out. You know, got shadows everywhere I need. Next part is I do want to do some minor fixes to it. I see that on the outline there are some things I could fix. Like I don't really like how this kangaroo pocket is looking. It looks kind of wonky, so I'm gonna fix that, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I do after. All right guys, so I've gone ahead and added a few details. As you can see right here, I added some line ribbing. I forgot to add that in the original outline, so I just added it now. I just added it to this top layer right here. So if you also did forget, you can also add that too real quick. Make sure you turn on the symmetry tool so it's faster. Also added some blurred lines down here to kind of make it look like wrinkles. I kind of fixed up the kangaroo pocket a little bit. I'm still not happy with it, but I fixed it up as a little bit. But yeah, for the wrinkles down here, I just added literally just straight lines like this, a little bit thicker than that. Just added straight lines, and I Gaussian blurred them, and I turned down the opacity really far, and that's how I got that effect. But yeah, so now that our shadows are complete, I said I wanted to make this a camo style type of hoodie. All right guys, so I've actually gone ahead and found a camo online. I literally just searched up camo and used the first free camo that I found. Make sure if you do this, make sure it's off a free stock photo type of website where you can use it for like commercial use and stuff, just in case if you do plan on turning this mock-up into an actual product, don't want to get sued. So I have found a camo right here. I've actually already put it as a layer. I'm actually gonna put this under the shadow and white texture layer right here. And I'm going to make this really, actually I'm going to duplicate it a little bit. So now we have a fully camo hoodie. There are shadows and everything. I'm actually going to turn down the opacity a little bit so we can get that original color. And also I don't like how blocky that this camo is, so I'm actually gonna go to the magic wand. I'm actually gonna blur the camo just a little bit, not too much, just a tiny bit. So now we have a camo mock-up hoodie that we've made from scratch. Now from here, you can add your own designs or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little design that I have. All right, so here's the design I added. It's a bulldog. So I'm going to just put that right in the middle right here. It's a simple design, nothing crazy. I'm actually going to also turn up the opacity on the white textured powder layer, just because I wanted the fabric to be a little bit more of having a washed look. Don't want the camo to take up too much. All right, so from here, I have my bulldog. So bulldog looks like I just slapped a picture on it. So what I'm gonna actually do, oh, speaking of that, I actually need to put this camo layer below the fabric layer so that it actually looks like there's camo in the fabric instead of the camo on top of the fabric. So as you can see, major difference. So if I show you real quick, see it's less defined. If I put it under, way more defined. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the actual dog photo. I'm gonna turn down the opacity a little bit. I think this is pretty good right here. So there we go. Now we have our graphic on our hoodie. We take off this symmetry line. It's kind of ruining the hoodie. So I'm gonna turn that off real quick. There we go. Turn off the drawing guide. And now we have a camo war type hoodie vibe right there. And that's essentially how you make a mock-up from scratch. There's a lot of other things you can do. Like if I wanted to add some distressing to this graphic right here, I might go to charcoal, go to burnt tree. Make sure you're on the eraser as well. And I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. And I'm just gonna randomly tap on the graphic, make it look a little bit more distressed. And there we go, a little bit of distressing right there. So as you can see, we have turned our mock-up into a semi-realistic 2D mock-up. It looks pretty good, I think. And there's just a quick tutorial on how to do that from scratch. Now, obviously, if you had used my brushes, would have been way faster because we already have the actual mock-up trace, multiple hoodies, multiple types of shirts, multiple types of pants already traced for streetwear or any type of niche that you guys are in. Then we have our shadow pack as well, so you guys could easily put a shadow for any of the mock-ups as well. And I would have already saved 30 to an hour of time. And then from there, you guys also have the textures already, so you can put the textures on. And then we also have pockets and other things that you could also put on if you want. But this is exactly how you make a 2D semi-realistic mock-up from scratch. If you guys are interested in my brush pack, the link is in the description. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway for that brush pack. I want to see the type of mock-ups you guys made after watching this video. So if you guys join my Discord, send your mock-up in chat. I'll be choosing 2 people to win the brush pack completely for free. I'll be choosing the best mock-ups that I see from people that have watched this video and created a mock-up. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this was able to help you guys create semi-realistic 2D mock-ups, and hopefully it teaches you how to make a mock-up for any other garment other than a hoodie. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys join my Discord if you have any questions, and comment down below if you guys want any other videos on different mock-ups. I can show you guys how to make jeans. I can even show you guys how to make an actual realistic mock-up as well. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget to join my Discord. I would love to see all the mock-ups you guys made and designs. All right, peace.